I just realized I'm not sharing my screen. I thought I was. Welcome everybody to episode number 171 of Pro NoCoders Office Hours. I am your host, Tonya. I'm here with our member, Jay, and my Kim. I'm going to start in just a moment. But in the meantime, I want to let you know a little bit about what Pro NoCoders Office Hours are. It is where we invite our members of Office Hours subscription to come on our Zoom, which we broadcast live, and they can ask us any bubble question they want, and we try to get it answered right there with them on the fly. Most of the time we get it right. We can't promise all of the answers because we don't have all of the answers, but most of the time we do get it right. And we promise you won't suffer with your question alone, even if it takes us several sessions to get through all of one problem that you're having or a question. We will get it done. So let's see here. In addition to office hours, we also have the Pro NoCoders Vault. Pro NoCoders Vault is a collection of answers to questions that we've received, and they're cataloged, they're organized, and they're highly searchable and time-stamped. This means you can go into our vault, type in whatever keyword you want, and we will point you to a series of videos if they exist in the vault already, and show you exactly which point in the video you need to watch in order to get your answer as quickly as possible. If we don't have your answer in the vault already, for a limited time, we're guaranteeing those answers. You just have to fill out the form on the page and submit it. We'll get the video for you and we'll let you know when it's ready. So do go check out both office hours and the vault at pronocoders.com. Jay, how's it going?
Good.
Good. Do you have anything for me today?
I do not.
You do not. All right. That's all right. It's no problem. We're going to start, I think, answering a question that I saw come through one of the Facebook groups just a little while ago. It's one that we tackled with you earlier in the year, the number pad, doing a number pad instead of. Yeah. So he wants to know how that would work. And I have it done in, let's see. I have it in the November sandbox. Where's the November sandbox? There it is. It's like, it should be here somewhere. So this is for Cristiano. And look at that. That's so old. It's not even accurate anymore. So we'll go to the page here called fake, what did I call it? Fake keyboard. So this is just a prototype, Cristiano. So I only have it done with 2 buttons. Of course, you would make all of the buttons that you want to be able to input here. And then essentially what I'm using is a plugin called Instant Text. And then I don't know why plugin developers do this. Oftentimes the plugin name is different from the element name that you have to find on the page. So the plugin is this one down here, Instant Text. It's a free plugin, pretty easy to install. And then the element on the page is called Live Text. So you just go down here and find live text and you go ahead and put one of these elements on the page. When you do that, it looks like this. And the way that live text works is you have to connect it to an input or a value. And the way you do that is you go to that input. In this case, this is just a text input, but I have it formatted as a US phone number because for my use case, that's what I was using. So in this input, you have to go down to the bottom and add an ID attribute that you're going to then reuse that attribute in the live text over here. Now, if you do not see an ID attribute at the bottom of your editor here, this bit here, you're going to go to settings, go to general, and you're going to go down to here, expose the option to add an ID attribute to HTML elements, and you're going to make sure that's checked off. Once you do that, this piece should show up and be available to you, and you can name it whatever you want, as long as it doesn't start with a number. It has to start with a letter. And so I named it this in this case, and then I came into the instant text here and I copied and I pasted this here. So now this is looking for the value of this, right? And then what we want to do is we want to have a custom state on the page. In this case, I put it right on the page and I called it fake boards phone, right? So this is just a custom state that you can add here if you want to, called phone of type text. And so the content of that state is what's going to show up here and then be stored here. And that becomes important when you want to do things like deleting numbers and adding numbers. Now, in this case, I don't actually have a delete button. I'll add that in just a moment, but let's check out the workflows on the buttons themselves. On this button 1, I have a very simple workflow. I'm just going to, when I click the 1 button, I'm just going to set the state of that custom state. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to use this function here called append. So we're just going to take what already is in the fake keyboard phone custom state, and we're going to use the append function 1, right? And then we'll do the same thing for the second button, except we'll append 2. So you can see if I preview the page, I can click 1, 2, 1, 2, like so, right? And if I come up here and I try to delete it or use my keyboard at all, nothing happens. I can only use the pad here to enter the numbers. Now let's do the opposite. Let's put a delete button here so you know how to do that part of things. So I'll just copy this button and paste it, and I'll label it I don't know why it's doing that. Do you see that dark? How it's dark instead of light text? That was weird. So this will erase the phone number. Probably we just need 1 for erasing 1, and then we could do another 1 with double for erasing the whole thing. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll start the edit workflow here, and we'll set the state. Fake button phone, and it'll be fake keyboards phone, and then we're going to truncate. Let's see, how will we do that? How are we going to take off the end? In this case, I know exactly how many thing is, so we just want to remove 1. So there's append and truncate. I think we have to use the truncate. And 2. I don't know if that's going to work. We'll see. Let's try it. Nope, it took off the wrong one. So let's go back here. So we have to do, so truncated from, instead of truncated from, we're going to do truncated to. And then instead of using a 1 here, we're going to use fake keyboards, phone, number of characters. And then we're going to convert to a number, and we'll subtract 1. So what we're doing here, just so, and it doesn't like it. Why doesn't it like it? Oh, I think I need to convert it back to text because it's a text. formatted as zero. There. So I just had to format it back as text to get it to accept. So we're just taking what's already stored in that custom state, and we're taking the number of characters and we're converting that to a number so we can subtract 1, and then we're reformatting it as text so it's acceptable. And then what we'll do, yeah, so let's preview and see if this works. So what I want is if I click this button, it takes off the second 1 and leaves 1, 2. Nope, it made it 0. That's not what we want. I have to look this up. I actually have a working example of this in an app. I just can't show it on screen right now because it's a client app. So I have a working example I'll go back to and reference, and I'll get the answer for you. But this is essentially how you do it to make it so that the keypad works. And then I'll figure out exactly how we're subtracting numbers and get back to you. Any questions, Jay? Did that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Do you have it working where you can subtract?
Yeah.
On yours, on Garden
It doesn't
Frame?
work so elegantly. It works.
How did we do it? I forget how we did it.
I don't remember.
Okay.
In one of them, it works better than the other, but I also had something weird about mine. I had a 0 in it. Something about the 0 made it strange.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the details. That was several months ago. I like it. I like the interface. I like keypads. I just think it's better than pulling up a tiny keypad and then trying to hit the right number, especially when you're walking or something.
Yeah, the client that I'm thinking of actually made it a little bit more complex because he wanted it so that you could use the regular keyboard, or you could use the number pad and you could switch it up in the middle. I was like, what? Because I got it
in the middle.
Yeah, so basically you'd be able to take it and add 1 with the keypad, and then add 1 with your keyboard, and then add 1 with your keypad again, and go back and forth and use the backspace button. Yeah, it's a little complicated.
It reminds me of like Roku, my Roku for streaming.
Mm-hmm.
I can switch back and forth between clicking or the key, or pulling up the keypad and doing it that way. I don't really switch back and forth too much, but I can see that the functionality, it's not clumsy. It works okay.
Yeah. I wonder if I made this. No, I had to make it a text in order to do the append, because you can't append numbers. Yeah, I'll figure it out. Let's see, what else should we talk about today? We had fun yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, that was super productive. It was such a good product and a good integration. And I really liked the way that you went back and forth with the documentation. So that
with the workflowy.
Yeah, so we could see like not just how to do it, but here's how you figured it out. That's super helpful.
Yeah, so what we're talking about is Jay attended a members only Zoom that we did yesterday, where I explained how to integrate your Bubble app with ActiveCampaign. And I can show you a little bit what we did. If you want access to that course, it's really a mini course. It's 2.5 hours of video. And if you want access to that, you can sign up for the vault, because it'll be going up in the vault very, very soon. And so essentially what you're seeing here is these are all, most of these are users in the demo app that I made and I went through. And this is an ActiveCampaign, which is an email marketing automation platform, in addition to a CRM. And so now, because I have these contacts here, the better way to email a group of people from your app is to use ActiveCampaign to get it done, especially if you're going to send any marketing emails, because ActiveCampaign is compliant with a bunch of regulation around marketing emails, allowing people to unsubscribe from the group. So you don't send them marketing emails when they don't want marketing emails, because nobody wants to be, I guess there are plenty of people who want to be that spammy kind of marketer, but I don't want to be that kind of spammy marketer. If someone doesn't want emails from me, I want them to be able to say, hey, I don't want these anymore. And I don't want to have to think about it. I want my system to just go ahead and remove them from the list of people who are eligible to receive emails. And then that way I can keep emailing the people who want to hear from me without thinking about the people who don't. So,
ActiveCampaign is super protective wisely of their reputation because that impacts deliverability. So if you try playing games, you know, and doing spammy stuff on ActiveCampaign, they will notice. You will be spoken with.
Yep. And then you can get reports like these and you can see, oh, how many opens did we have? How many unsubscribes? Yes, I unsubscribed to my own email because what happened is I wanted to keep the contacts that are in ActiveCampaign in sync with those in my demo app. And I wanted to make sure that if I unsubscribed, that it would be reflected in my app, which is what we did in the, let's see here, in this ActiveCampaign demo. So I got everything set up so that anytime a new user on the app signs up, they get added onto the ActiveCampaign list correctly and tagged correctly to be able to receive emails anytime someone signs up to the landing page. They also are added to ActiveCampaign automatically. And then anytime one of them, yeah, this is the landing page, anytime a user would come in and unsubscribe to one of the emails, they don't have to touch the app to unsubscribe from the emails. We made it so that ActiveCampaign will let us know in the app. So again, if you want to see that 2.5-hour mini course on how to set up ActiveCampaign using the API connector, I showed exactly how you're going to set all of this up, the private keys and the API token. And then we went one by one and created all of these calls. So awesome. What else can I tell you? Let's just go and look at some of the questions that have been going on in Facebook. I'm sure there's plenty of fodder there. So if you're not a member of the Pro NoCoders Facebook group, check it out. We're pretty responsive here. So this one came in yesterday. I actually played around with this one. I turned it into a vault question. And I got some feedback from Pablo, and he said, so what Vinay is trying to do is when you have a specific pop-up open on his app, he wanted to disable the back button so the user couldn't leave the page and go back and lose their information or for whatever reason. And so there is a plugin that he has that does that, but it was doing it on the whole app, not just when the pop-up was open. And the feedback I got from Pablo was that we can't reliably, like we can't always prevent the user from clicking the back button and leaving the page, but we could make it harder. Vinay seems to have figured this out though. His last message here was that it's working pretty reliably now. And he essentially set it up so that it's just when he's, when that pop-up is showing, then that plugin is operational. So let's see here. Another popular question we keep getting is whether or not people should convert their old responsive engine pages to the new responsive engine. And the answer is an overwhelming no, don't do it. We love the new responsive engine, but that conversion process is not good enough. if you want to build in the new responsive engine, you are probably best starting from scratch and rebuilding the page in the new responsive engine. But I did have a recommendation for Vinay here, that one way you can start using the new responsive engine without having to redo an entire page is to put the new stuff or the part that you're refactoring into a reusable and place the reusable, which is done with the new responsive engine, on the old responsive engine page. And that is working. I've heard good things from Eli and others that the two are compatible. A new responsive engine reusables are compatible with old responsive engine pages. So let's see here. This person's looking, I think this person's actually looking for somebody to help him on his project. He didn't say where he was super stuck on anything. So I'll probably end up deleting this post because we don't actually, we're not serving as a job board in our Pro NoCoders Facebook group. But integrating financial line, bar, and candlestick charts. I've done, bar charts and line charts, but I've never done candlestick charts. I have seen it done though.
What is a candlestick chart?
Candlestick chart is where it's those little rectangles, and it's kind of like showing trends on financial. Here I can show you. So if I go to
Googling.
but
I
for
asked
this,
the question thinking I would have been quicker if I just, I mean, by the time I said it, I could have looked at it.
I've already created this, so I should be logged in already. Yeah, see, this is the candlestick that he's talking about. It looks like the candlestick. So I've already signed up. Oh, but you don't remember my stuff. All right, but essentially, like when you're trying to tell is the market trend going
for financial stuff, is exclusively this type of chart is just for financial stuff?
As far as I know.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That would explain why I probably never really looked at one before.
Yeah, it's trying to see how, this looks like it's an integration of some kind. Like this is probably iframed in. I don't think he did this with Bubble. So and right now I'm looking at a different kind. I would see the candlesticks, I think, if I move out. So like if I did one day, I could see the candlesticks probably more prominently. Nope, that didn't help. So, but yeah, this is not built in Bubble. This has got to be iframed in somehow. So take care of that one. Let's see, Sander had a question about using the new responsive editor. He was getting this kind of like gray shading between the elements, and he wasn't sure what was going on. And I didn't get a chance to answer this, Sander. I wish Sander was here right now. But I'm guessing that there is some kind of shading or non-transparency of the group that's causing this. And I see it around your elements here. So I'm wondering, I've been having some problems actually with that on here. I don't know if you could see this, but this is a transparent group here. So if I go in here and I look at the group itself, I actually remove the style of the group itself. Oh, that's me in the text here. So the text, move the style, and I have the background to none, right? And even though the background is none, when I click out of here, you can see, I don't know, can you see it, Jay?
I cannot.
You cannot see the difference. There is just a really slight difference. This here is just a shade lighter than the actual black background that I want to show through. And it's so strange because if I go in here into the conditional and I just turn on this conditional, it was removing that. And now, nope, it's still there. I can still see it. So that didn't work. I think what I had to do to get it to disappear, which is what's telling me it's a bug, Sander, is if I change this, then I don't know. Did you see it? Kim, am I crazy? Can you see the difference? It just disappeared. So when I changed the line spacing, it went from having a lighter shade, right, to actually being transparent. And now I can't, it's seamless. I can't tell like where the text element starts from the black background. But as soon as I do anything to like, as soon as I change anything about this, it comes back. It's so annoying. So like if I had just come here, I'm gonna say 0, no, it came back. As soon as I changed it, it came back. So now there's this like really light background shade difference. So I think it's definitely a bug, Sander, but I don't think that it's a responsive editor bug. I think that it's I think it might just be a bubble bug, because if I preview this page, let's see if I can see it on the live. Hey, Nathan.
Hello.
How's it going?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm just popping in.
Oh, did you have anything or no?
I'll bring something up if you have a second, but I haven't really.
Oh, no. I'm in need of things. We're going through the Facebook group right now.
Okay. Well, I have a repeating group that I want to filter out with multiple different checkboxes. And I know I've seen information out there. I just haven't researched it yet, but I could ask you that officially if you want.
Sure. Yeah, let's do it. Do you want to share your screen?
Sure. Yeah. Let me pull it up just a second.
Awesome.
Can you see my screen?
I can.
Yeah. So the repeating group, ultimately, I want to have this content, which is all coming from the type learning content. And then each of these different areas are fields within that learning content type to just filter out what shows in this repeating group. So one of 4 different grade bands, one of 3 different types, this will be a little harder because we don't really have this group together, right? And then there's 4 different drop downs of different fields. These are option sets that I've used within the content type as well. So ultimately, I would like only things to show in this repeating group if these things are checked.
Okay. And you want it to be exclusive, but multiple. So like they could select K2 and also 3 through 5.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So I would like to start with everything. And then if these things are checked, the list only includes things that match one or more of these. Same thing here. I won't focus on this yet because I don't have the data type set up for times in this way right yet. But
got it.
And that match these drop downs as well. So the more you select, the less that's going to show.
I actually have a video for you that does this.
I'm
I'm going to refer you to. Actually, the reason I'm referring you to it is because I'm not sure I could do a good enough job explaining it and going through it. I haven't done the inclusive or myself. It makes total sense why people want to do it, but it's a little bit complicated, and I haven't taken the time to really study it and understand it as well as I would like. So there is Pablo is working right now on time stamping a video of Juan taking Sander through this very issue, and it will be going up in the vault shortly.
Okay.
And I will send you a link when it's ready.
Okay.
So
what would be what would be the other way to do it? I guess for the sake of just discussion.
So if you want to do an exclusive or, where if you click K2, it filters to only those that are K2, I can do that all day long.
Yeah.
And then it's when you want to include where it's K2 and or the 3 through 5, where it would like, because if you want to make it so that like, do you have any, these are learning contents, right? So do you have any learning contents that are both K2 and 3 through 5?
No.
Right. So if you clicked on both K2 and 3 through 5, the way that I have it is nothing would show up because you don't have anything that's both of those things.
Gotcha.
Well, the way that you want it is if it's either K2 or 3 through 5, then it would show up.
Yeah.
So, but I can totally show you how to do it so that you could like make those, instead of checkboxes, you can make them radio buttons. And then like you could only select one. And when you select that one, it would filter by that one.
Can you show me that? Just
Sure.
just
Yeah.
as a chance for me to learn something?
Absolutely. So on your repeating group content list, so the first thing we have to do is we have to make sure that something happens when you check that checkbox. Do you have that part worked out?
No.
Okay, so on the checkbox itself, is that a bubble checkbox, or is that an icon?
Yeah, it was just a bubble checkbox. I was just trying to throw something together just to test things out.
I would change it. I would make it an icon checkbox.
Okay.
I really don't like working with bubbles checkbox or radio buttons, to be honest.
Okay.
So the first thing I would do is I would just replace that checkbox with an icon.
Icon. Okay.
And I think you've typed square for the empty one is square.
Okay. It's not playing nice. Let me start.
Oh, that's also, I usually use just the native one, the native icon stuff, but it's okay. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And you make it a group?
Yep, you make it a group so that it highlights with the hand cursor when you're hovering over it. Yep. And then is that a repeating group, or those are all hard coded?
These are all hard coded. I could, because I have these in an option set. I was just trying to throw something together so I could start testing some stuff. But
Gotcha. Yeah, so I would probably do a repeating group with that option set. And then what you would do is on that click of that checkbox, if the option set is contained by a custom state that is also a list of options set of that option set, then you would change the icon to being the check mark instead of the square.
okay, can I just?
It's okay. We can take our time. I'm not in a hurry. Hey, Thomas.
Hi there.
Welcome. Do you have any questions for today?
Nope.
Okay.
Well,
That's weird. What's
Yeah.
happening?
I can't get it in that repeating group.
Maybe, well, you should be able to. We just got to figure out what's going on.
It just does not like that repeating group.
Well, it keeps trying to go in the group that's the repeating group was in. Yeah, there you go.
I've been having a lot of issues with not being the same type of issue.
There it is. Now it's in there.
It just doesn't highlight it.
Yeah.
Does it?
There we
there-
go. Goodbye. I've been
It's in
cutting
there.
them and pasting them.
So once you get it in there again, where it's showing, like now, don't use, just use your arrows. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there it is. Now it's there.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So then the data source, the repeating group,
Oh, shoot. I just did what you told me not to do.
just,
Okay, there we go.
I was watching you do it too. I was like, what are you doing? That's awesome. Okay, so now we have that. So this will get an option. And you'll get that kind of option. And then option all options. There you go. Perfect. So now you can put the text element that says which option it is. And it'll be current cells and then display. Option. Awesome. And now on the page itself, probably it's the page element. If you click outside of everything, just go where you have, we're going to add a custom state and you'll name it probably something to do with that option set. So you know what it is.
Okay.
And then state type will be that option set. See, I love it when I can tell that like you take something that I do and you use it because you're using the OS and the option sets, which makes it so much easier. And
Yeah.
then also click, check that box to make it a list.
Why is it a list?
So it's a list because in the future, you're going to be working with a list of them because you do want that inclusive or.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So might as well work with it as a list. Doesn't matter.
Yep, that makes sense.
Okay, so now on the group holding the icon, you can go ahead and start edit workflow.
Is that no?
Nope, clear.
Nope.
Yeah, just clear the data source and just
Okay.
go to the workflow. Yeah.
Workflow.
And then on the workflow itself, we're going to add a condition. So if you click into the workflow, the only when will be when, and now you're going to put the page name. So whatever the page name is, because we put that state on the page name.
Yeah.
Yep. So that grade band contains the current cell's grade band. There you go. And then the action is going to be to set the state. And the action will be the LI content list. So the very first one, is that LI or LL?
LL, launch learning.
Okay, got it. So then grade band. And then the same thing, the LL content list. So yep, grade band. Now, what we're doing here is a little bit tricky, but it's a good concept to learn. When you're working with lists and you're trying to reset the value of a list, you start with the list itself, and then you subtract the item that you want to take off of the list.
I see. Okay.
So now we have the list itself, and then you're going to minus item. If you just start typing minus, it will pop up. And then current cells grade band. And the reason we're minusing the item is the condition that we have on the workflow itself is when it is contained by that list, we're going to take it off of the list, right?
When the current list contains this one, then do this. Okay. Yeah, that
Yep.
makes sense.
Okay. And now you're going to copy and paste that workflow. Nope, the workflow, not the action. There you go. And you're going to flip it around. So when it doesn't contain, so just change the contains to doesn't contain. And then just switch in the step plus item instead. And now what we need to do is go back into the design and on the icon itself. In the conditional, we want when the LL state contains current cell. A parent groups thing. We have to change the parent groups reference.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
You can just ignore that for now. We'll do it in a second and we'll be
Okay.
fine. It'll be red for now. Select the property to change when true. And you're going to change the icon itself. And you're going to choose the check. There you go. So now let's go to appearance. Yeah, so you can go, that's what I was going to do is I'm going to go into that group and change that group. So that group type of content will be the OS band. Yep. And then the data source will be the parent group, the current cells. Yeah. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so now we have a working checkbox that you could probably preview and see. And you can click multiple of them. That functionality is working and you'll refine it later. We can put
Right.
limits on it for the exclusive.
Right.
So let's go back. Now that we have that, we have to say we have to filter. So go to the repeating group that's going to be filtered.
Okay.
And click in the search and then click more.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
So for this one, actually, we could probably get away with the constraints being in the search itself. So let's try it. So the constraint will be that the grade band contains the LL content list. And then because it's a list grade band, and I would say first item, we'll just work with one item for now. Grade band contains, I guess, display. Do you have that as a text field? Yeah. Okay, got it.
Yeah, the display is a text field.
Okay, and then you have it to ignore empty constraints. So let's just test it. Let's preview and see. Showing empty cells, that's weird.
Some of those, yeah, the test data, some of them are actually empty.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't have anything in there actually.
Yeah, so it's only going to filter by the one you click first.
Right.
Right now. So we can change, in the meantime, we could probably change those. We could take the list status off of that custom state and change it from a checkbox to a radio button. And that way they know that that you're only supposed to be able to select one at a time.
What we did right here is the precursor to making the
What
change.
you want to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll leave it like this. No one's going to see it until I'm done with it. So
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how that works. If we wanted to do the filters part of it, I can show you how to do that in filters instead. So if you go back into the search.
why would I do it from a filter instead of constraints?
Filters, that's a good question. The filters is probably going to be when you do want to be able to do more than one. So,
Well, that'll be a part of the video.
yep, that'll be a part of the video for
Okay.
sure.
I'll
Yep.
watch that then.
Okay.
I like this. So let me ask you a question. So content type, I know I have to make, these are checkboxes and I need to change, but does this become just a second constraint?
Exactly. Yep,
So
because
I
you're
want it to
ignoring.
include whichever one's checked here. And if something's checked here, I want it to include that only. And then would each of these drop downs be the same? Can you help me think through the drop down? Like these drop downs are each a part of an option set as well. And each of these would all have one item out of all of these, if that makes sense.
It's going to get, so the grade band, content type, and class time needed, all of those will work with the method that I just showed you.
Okay.
The drop down ones, you're probably going to need the filters for, because you're going to want to take into, and it might even be a little trickier because the NGSS alignment, is there a reason you can't put it all in one drop down? If there's only going to be one selection from all of them?
Each of these are different option sets. So there's 4 different disciplines. There's 55 different topics. There's 208 different standards.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And eventually I would make this progressive. So if you selected a topic, that would pull a different list. So right now I'm just listing all of them. I'm just listing everything. Eventually I could get to the point where, and this is where I was just I wanted to start playing through it. If I knew that only K through 2 was selected, then I also know from the alignment, actually that like the topics are standards, then I would know not all of this list would have to be shown. So
got it. So you want to filter the options there by what is selected in the previous.
Ultimately, that's what I wanted. I mean, it's the same list regardless, but as a UI, I would build in where these lists get smaller based on things that are selected over here. Really, just this one. But
and then are those things tied to only one field in the?
Yes. So each of the content. So like the discipline option set is a field in the content, and topic is a field in the content. So standard and DCI. So each of these are individual fields in the content. So this content will have a discipline, one topic, one standard, and one DCI. If that makes sense.
Got it.
So I could,
can you show me the database? So
Yep.
like for the discipline topic, that sort of thing, show me where that would be in the data.
Actually, this data type. So learning content. So those drop downs were DCI and discipline and standard. Those are different option sets.
Got it.
And then when we create so when we create this, we're selecting one discipline, one standard, and one DCI. I'll do a multi-select eventually, but again, just trying to keep it simple. So this content has one discipline, DCI. It has one standard and, I'm sorry, discipline, standard, and DCI. So, so if I was looking, and as a part of this search, I was looking for, a K2 grade band of a certain type of discipline or topic or standard, I would want to find things that are of that grade band and also match the discipline and or standard and or DCI. That's my idea.
Okay.
So
What's the fourth drop down? There's four.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't have that. It will be another fourth one. It'll just be like these. I don't know why I
got
don't.
it. All right,
I don't know
got
why
it.
I don't have it built in there, but
All right, but you only want them to be able to search for one of those.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All
The
right.
grade bands are a little bit different because it's just a different way of looking at the population. When you get into the NGS side, there is only one that you would select. You're only really searching for. You could search for all four of these because they are all related, but you would only be searching for one of these topics. You wouldn't be
At
searching
once.
for this
Okay.
topic and this topic.
So the way to do that is the conditions will actually go on the drop downs themselves. So like you would make it available to be selected only when there's no other, when the other three are empty.
Okay.
Right. And then in your filters, though, it doesn't really make much of a difference because your filter is going to stay the same on the repeating group. So just go into where it's, click there and click more and then type filter. Yep. And then what we're going to do is you're going to add 4 constraints, one for each of those drop downs.
Okay.
And then you're going to select ignore empty constraints.
So let's see, the standard contains this drop down, right?
That drop down's value. Yep.
And then just add.
And just add all 4 and then just make sure to check the box that ignores the empty constraints.
I don't have contains in here. Why is that? So standard.
So it's probably
Standard is a list.
equal. Yeah,
Yeah.
and this one's equal. Yep.
All right, so just those 3 and ignore if they're empty.
Yep.
Let's see, so PS3, PS2, 1. Yeah, there it is. And let's say, so I know there's only one showing up. I know it's 3 through 5. So if I put K through 2, it should go away, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And that shouldn't change everything else. Hey, look at that. Okay.
We got you a
And
step closer.
yeah. Well, this is the first step. Now I want to be able to add multiple, but this is one version of it. You could say pick one grade band and one activity type, but so if I actually did, no, I don't have that set up. I don't know the topic. I'll have to do some look. But in theory,
we didn't constrain the we haven't constrained the drop downs yet. So you could select multiple, but you probably won't get anything.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Okay. Well, great. So now I'm going to ignore this, but I'll do the same thing with content type. I'll replicate what we did with the grade band and then I'll start playing around with that. Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Hey,
And then I'll watch
no
that video and practice on the inclusive or exclusive. Is it inclusive or exclusive?
It's inclusive.
Inclusive. So
Yeah.
adding more than one option. Yeah.
Yep. That's trickier than exclusive for sure.
Sure.
So
Okay.
awesome.
Great. Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
Hey, no problem. Hey, Ben, welcome. Oh, did you have a question, Jay?
I do.
What's up?
So I want to be able to show like no results, like a no results alert.
Mhm.
When you get to a certain point, it's going to flash. So I'm telling you about it in advance. And the problem is it's showing too soon, like before the repeating group has a chance to load. So here it comes. Boom. I mean, it shouldn't be there yet. It should be after.
What's the condition on it?
Whether there's anything in this repeating group or if the repeating group is empty.
Got it. So instead of putting it on the repeating group, just use the same search that the repeating group is using and say count is 0.
Awesome. Thank you.
And that way it won't show anything until it's figured out the count.
Okay.
Very cool. Hey, Ben, did you have any questions today?
I've got a quick one, if that's all right.
Sure, of course.
So I am setting up. I've set up these charts. Can you see that? Sorry.
I can, yes.
And what I want to do is when I select one of these, it changes the chart. But do I have to set up custom states for each one of these and then make it go in? Or is there a way to, I know you did some sessions on Chart.js to change the data points on click of a button.
So are you're wanting to change what the chart is charting based on the button click?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna require changing something in the charting plugin about its like data source and the points and stuff. We could probably figure out how to put those things into a record or something so that you're not having to do it all in custom states.
Okay.
So let me
I just
think.
know, I think if I did custom states, they'd be like lined up because there's so many of them.
Yeah, no, there will be like I have done apps where there are a ton of custom states. I would probably, instead of using custom states, in this case, I would use hidden variables maybe, or I would use the database. And so like just have is this the only chart that there is
In the whole app?
in the whole, yeah, it's okay if it's not, just.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Okay. So like I might make one for this, like a thing in the database for this chart that has, because I'm assuming like your total followers, your total following, is all of that information stored on the same thing in the database already?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So that's not too bad. Show me the editor of the chart itself. So you're gonna need to change those, like the x-axis and everything dynamically, is what it is.
Yeah, and
You
that's
still want it to
fine.
be, okay.
I can do that with conditionals, can't I? That's fine.
Is that working?
Well, the issue that I'm having is that it does, but I have to actually hold the click button to get it to do it. Like once I release it, it doesn't stay on that one. Does that make sense?
That's weird. What's happening on your click button that would make it that way?
So like I actually have to hold the button in to get it to stay that way. If I release it, then it just goes back.
Huh. You must have something when the button is pressed.
Yeah.
So we don't, okay, that's because you're doing it with the conditions. That's the only way to do it, with the condition. So I would definitely make custom states for which type of chart you want.
Mm-hmm.
Can you? So instead of having the button bar chart is pressed, make it bar, I would set a custom state that said bar and then make it bar when that custom state is bar. So like when you click on the button, it changes the state. And then the state is what changes which type of chart it is. Does that make sense?
I can go through and do that. Awesome.
Okay. And then, so that will take care of that part. And then are you still having trouble changing the data source part, or is it working?
No, it's not. It's not. I haven't even attempted that one. It kind of was one of those things where it's like broke my brain just trying to think about it.
Gotcha. Are you coming to this this evening's session?
Yep.
Okay, cool. We can tackle the ones on the left, like switching out the data sources. We can do that tonight.
Woo. So in prep, I'll just go through and set up these custom states, and then we can do the other one later.
Yep, exactly.
Awesome.
Perfect. We're going to move into our after hours. So part of office hours is that our members are invited to a private session directly following office hours. And so we are going to move out of the broadcast section of office hours and into our members only after hours. If you would like to come to the members only after hours, you have to be a member. So please go to pronocoders.com and sign up for office hours. And then we get to meet you and we get to help you with your bubble problems, and you get to hang out with some really amazing bubblers. Thank you everybody for watching. We will be back here this evening at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time for episode number 172 of Pro NoCoders Office Hours. See you then.